Hola, buenos días. I wanted to show you one last thing the students are working on for this year. The fourth graders are working on their final project, which is a book, and they are writing sentences that pretty much incorporate all the pieces parts that they have learned this year and putting it into a final project. So I tell the students if fourth grade Spanish students had a final exam, this is what it would be. So this is just a sample to give you an idea what to look for. My hope is they will bring it home and read it to you. More on that in a minute. But they will have something, just looks like this, very simple. It's a short book, like a children's book, kind of a teaching book, if you will. So on the inside, they'll have some pages. They are the author and the illustrator. So they'll just have a fruit on each page and two sentences. One sentence should tell the color. One sentence should say whether they like the fruit or not, or it might say, "Do you like that fruit?" Again, it's written as a children's book, so it kind of reads like the lemon is yellow. Can you say lemon? But in Spanish. And at the bottom, I like lemons, or do you like lemons? And then on to the next one. So they sound like very simple sentences. However, in Spanish, there are a lot of pieces parts that change because things have to match. You can ask your student what matchy matchy stands for, and hopefully they'll be able to tell you. But there's a lot of things that have to line up in a Spanish sentence. So that is what their book will look like. And depending on the class and how some just don't have as many classes, especially at the end of the year. There are field trips and there are special things and there have been holidays. So some of the classes had an amended project. They only had 5 fruits, 10 sentences. And some did 8 fruits, 16 sentences. So it just depends on the day of the week that student had Spanish, how many sentences they had to write. And there is the class did, hold on, I have to pause this. The classes wrote rough drafts first and then did peer editing. They swapped papers with somebody. Anything that the other student saw was a mistake, they would circle and then give it back to the student. And the student would see the circles and have to think, is that wrong? Is it not? I better check it, take a look. And then if it was wrong, they make the changes. And then they got to do that again, changing with somebody else and looking through it one more time before it got turned into me. And I treated it as an actual grade. So when I made the corrections or the markings, then I was grading them on that as just kind of a culmination. How much did you learn this year? Can you put the pieces parts together? They were allowed to use their slides that I put in the Google Classroom, so they had access to spelling. They could even look up if they couldn't remember which verb to use. They could look that up too, but the sentences, they had to put those together themselves. They should be bringing the book home with a sheet for signatures so they can read to you their stories or to neighbors, grandparents, whomever. And a little child, if it's a little child who can't sign their own name yet, then maybe you could sign for them. But they can get this turned in to their classroom teacher, who will make sure to get it to me, and they will get participation credit for having read their stories to people at home too. We also have very supportive staff, of course, at the Ryan, and we have some staff members who have signed up to allow the students to come in and read to them. So very excited about that. If you have any questions, give me a call or an email, and I'll be happy to talk to you about it. And it's been great having the fourth graders this year and just getting to do fun projects like this, because they really rolled along this year and put it all together. So thank you so much. Hasta luego.